Your hero just doesn't discover an old tapestry. They uncover the truth that the city has been hiding or spent centuries trying to bury, transforming the plot into an existential challenge to the entire social order. If you're watching this, chances are you're like me, a writer, a world builder, or someone who simply appreciates the craft that goes into great fiction. We spend hours on lore, on power systems, and on character arcs, but there's one mistake that can instantly drain the life out of all that hard work: creating a city that's just a location. A location is a flat backdrop, a place for the hero to stand and deliver dialogue. However, a lived-in city is a character itself. Think of the grimy, overwhelming chaos of Gotham, or the class-divided layers of Midgar. These aren't just points on a map, they are dense, breathing organisms. When your characters move through these spaces, they shouldn't just be in a setting. They should be reacting to the smells, the history, the logistics, and the silent rules of that environment. If you want your story to feel real, your world just can't be a stage for your plot. It has to be the pressure cooker that defines your character's choices. The city's personality is what creates genuine tension. Is it an unnerving utopia that clearly hides a totalitarian secret beneath the surface? Is it a visible dystopia that forces your characters to become ruthless survivalists just to adapt? The inherent identity of the city must be the engine of conflict, not just a label on a map. That's why today we're breaking down the 4 secrets to making a fictional city feel real. The first and most fundamental secret to a truly real city is history itself. A great city is a living tapestry of time. Its history isn't just written in dusty archives, it's visible on the street. The crumbling medieval wall standing next to the hyper-modern government spire tells you the city was recently conquered, or maybe it grew too fast. The architectural contrast reveals the entire timeline of power shifts, economic booms, and technological changes. Even the city's location is a historical choice. It was likely built around a strategically defensible harbor, a necessary freshwater source, or the forgotten resting place of a powerful artifact. But history also dictates the invisible structure. Your power system might be restricted to specific guilds because of a historical pact made during an ancient magical war. Most importantly, history provides the plot engine. What terrible event was fought 500 years ago, 1,000 years ago, or maybe even 10,000 years ago that left a forgotten ruin beneath the city center? That ruin might contain a dormant law, an exploitable weakness, or the key to a lost military weapon that erupts into a crisis in the present day. History is the silent, inescapable driver of the city's conflict. The most powerful history, however, is the erased history. What foundational lie or terrible inconvenient truth does the city refuse to acknowledge in its official records? The perfect example of this is One Piece's Void Century, a period of history so dangerous and inconvenient to the current ruling regime that merely researching it is the highest crime. Your hero just doesn't discover an old tapestry. They uncover the truth that the city has been hiding or spent centuries trying to bury, transforming the plot into an existential challenge to the entire social order. The second secret is the flow of life, or recognizing that your city is primarily run by the boring, crucial reality of the invisible majority. While your plot focuses on eccentric heroes and overpowered criminals, the city itself relies on everyday shop owners, sanitation workers, transport operators, and local merchants. A truly lived-in world has local pubs that your heroes may come to after a job well done, essential tech stores that offer the newest upgrades and gadgets for anyone needing it, and the constant hum of commerce. If your characters need a weapon, they don't just find it in a glowing temple. Well, I mean, they might. But typically, they buy it from a grizzled shopkeeper who is worried about the rising rent and the local transport guild striking again. The existence of these necessary ordinary jobs is what makes the backdrop feel real, grounding the epic in the mundane. This essential flow of ordinary life also generates the friction that proves the city is alive. Commerce means there are local tariffs, black markets, and crime. Not just world-ending plots, but petty violence and pickpockets. The city is defined by its noise, the smell of the local food stall next to the busy transit hub, the sound of the local city's police patrol. This constant chaotic movement and friction is the noise of reality, and when a writer embraces it, their setting stops being a stage and starts being a vibrant and dangerous place to live. This friction also creates scarcity, which fuels the black market, the existence of a thriving underground economy specific to the city's needs, like restricted tech, illicit magic components, or forged documents, proves the official supply chain is either broken or too corrupt to fix. Think of Night City in Cyberpunk, where the black market for specialized chrome or military tech dictates survival far more than any legal shop. The scarcity dictates what your character can realistically afford and where they have to go for help. This also forces them to make compromises that may define their morality. The third secret is institutional friction, the political realities that prevent your city from being perfect or fully efficient. A city doesn't exist in a vacuum. It has a defined stance towards the outside world. Think of the great nations in Naruto. Their interactions weren't just simple treaties. They were alliances steeped in historical suspicion, trade agreements, and necessary military posturing. That external stance dictates everything from military presence at the city gates to the price of foreign goods in the market. Internally, friction comes from the politics of power distribution. Is the city run by a council of oligarchs, a single benevolent dictator, or a fragile, decaying democracy? Whatever the structure may be, you need to show the visible effects of that friction. Maybe the city's powerful magic users are strictly monitored by a bureaucratic guild that hates the government, creating constant social tension. Perhaps the currency is collapsing because the ruling family is corrupt. When you make the politics of your city feel real, every major decision, from opening a new port to declaring war on a rival faction, is a slow, messy conflict of wills that impacts every single character. Another point, you must also show and not tell the politics. The city's ideology should be physically unavoidable. Propaganda posters, public monuments dedicated to controversial figures, invisible surveillance like drones, watchtowers, and checkpoints. These are all physical proof of institutional friction. These symbols force your characters to actively navigate the political atmosphere, even when running for simple errands such as groceries. The fourth and final secret is to show how the rules of engagement affect the mundane reality of the city. We often spend so much time obsessing over power systems and lore that we forget to ask, how does this power affect a Tuesday morning? This is crucial because it immediately dictates the relationship between the people and their abilities. A prime example of this system is My Hero Academia. In that world, to be a legal user of your quirk is to be a state-sanctioned hero, while anyone operating outside of these strict guidelines is immediately labeled a vigilante, or even worse, a villain. This secret is crucial because it governs the relationship between the people and their powers. You need visible rules. Perhaps all people who teleport must register their coordinates with a government guild after a couple days of teleportation, or every magic user must wear a dampening bracelet inside the demilitarized zone to reduce the chance of any damage happening on a whim. This also has an added side effect of adding more plot devices to your story as well. More importantly, the power system creates a new social class division. Is magic hereditary? Is technology restricted by cost? The rules of engagement often solidify an oppressive social hierarchy, where access to power becomes the new wealth and status symbol. These are the restrictions, costs, and benefits of the power system that integrate it directly into the city's daily struggle, making the fantasy feel grounded in necessity. All in all, world building is about answering the boring questions so the exciting questions can land with force. By grounding your city in these four simple logistical realities: its history, flow of life, institutional friction, and rules of engagement, you transform a simple, meaningless backdrop into an impactful character itself. The greatest fictional locations succeed because these four secrets create a self-sustaining ecosystem. The long-term history dictates the current rules of engagement. Those rules constrain the flow of life for the ordinary person, at least, and that friction fuels the messy, necessary political conflict. This complex interdependence is the final, undeniable layer of realism. Now, what's your favorite fictional city ever created, and which of these four secrets does it utilize the best? Let me know down below. And as always, stay building, stay real, and this is your captain, signing off.